A very good afternoon to all. Welcome to class 12th economics. Chapter unit which we are doing is economic reforms since 1991 and new economic policy. New economic policy means what new changes or what new policies are some changes, some new policies, some reforms in 1991 because various reasons were there. The reasons we have already covered yesterday, right? In last class, we have already covered these reasons that the problem of borrowings was there, which we were facing, and we were not able to get the borrowings from the World Bank or IMF anymore. So there was a condition imposed by the World Bank and IMF that we should definitely go for accepting the reforms. Is my voice clear to all? I hope my voice is not breaking and it's clear to everybody. Please write in the chat box. Is it clear? Okay, fine. It's clear. Abhishek is saying, sir, crystal clear. Oh, ho. Chalo, chalo. ठीक है. Let's continue. So we have already discussed this fiscal deficit, unfavorable BOP. Unfavorable BOP, I told you that our imports were more than the exports. And because imports were more than the exports, which means foreign exchange was going more outside than what we were receiving. So as a result, there it was a problem for us. Then Gulf crisis, then inflation, PSU's poor performance, that all we have covered in last class, that these were the reasons that we have to adopt the new economic policy. Now let us start with the new economic policy. New economic policy introduced three concepts. Please अब ध्यान से सुनना, आज की class is very very important. Today's class is very very important because you will be definitely getting one question from this class in exam for sure. The first concept is liberalization. You know, in 1991, the policy or the reforms which were accepted constituted three concepts. It included three concepts. The concepts like liberalization, the concepts like privatization, and the concepts like globalization. Earlier, the concept was LPQ, which we were following. Earlier, we were following LPQ, that is before reforms. L for licensing, then P for basic role, monopoly role of course, public sector enterprises, and Q for quotas. So that was in the case of LPQ, which we were following earlier. But now the scenario was changed. Now the licensing system was purely abolished and liberalization took place. The role which was given to only public sector undertaking was revised and privatization was followed. And last में अगर हम बात करें, that was globalization. So if we talk about globalization, then I'll simply say that earlier there was quota system, now which were abolished to globalization. I hope I am clear with my points. So earlier there was LPQ, licensing, then P for yes, public sector undertakings monopoly control, and Q for quota, which was now changed to कौन से में चेंज हो गया था? That was liberalization, privatization and globalization, LPG. I hope this is clear. Okay, so let us take the first point today, liberalization. That what is liberalization? Liberalization refers to withdrawing of all the control and restrictions imposed on the economy by the government. So liberalization refers to withdrawal of the control and restrictions imposed on the economy by the government, which means earlier, like, government imposed the restriction of licensing, that if any industry want to enter in India, then they have to get the license from the government, and that license must be, it was mandatory for all cases that you require a license. All right. And for that, not only for entering, but also if you want to expand, if you want to diversify, if you want to increase the production, you have to get the license from the government. But liberalization के आने से क्या हुआ? जो restrictions earlier were imposed by the government were completely withdrawal. That is known as liberalization. See, let's see the liberalization of industrial sector. First of all, liberalization will be studying liberalization in 4-5 reforms way. Liberalization के अंदर 4-5 reforms आए, वो हम पढ़ेंगे, जिसमें liberalization के अंदर जो सबसे पहले reform आया, that is reforms in industrial sector, which means now we will first talk about that what changes happened in industrial sector. एक बार बिना पढ़े बिना देखे, can't we say that what changes could be there इन द फॉर्म ऑफ इंडस्ट्री? क्या चेंजेस हो सकते हैं यहाँ पे इंडस्ट्री को लेकर? क्या चेंजेस, क्या लिबरलाइजेशन हमने किए होंगे? प्लीज राइट इन द चैट बॉक्स. लेट्स सी कौन जवाब देता है पहले और कौन सही जवाब देता है. क्या क्या चेंजेस यू फील दैट लिबरलाइजेशन में हुए होंगे? अक्षत ने सबसे पहले आंसर दिया, नो लाइसेंस. अभिषेक अग्रवाल, रिमूवल ऑफ लाइसेंसिंग. शौर्य बोला लाइसेंसिंग हट गई होगी सर. दिशांक, लाइसेंसिंग रिमूवल. ओके, तो ये तो सबको पक्का पता चल गया, एंड दैट इज द वैलिड पॉइंट, वन ऑफ द वैलिड पॉइंट. परफेक्ट, करेक्ट. सबसे पहला क्या उन्होंने किया? लाइसेंसिंग हटा दी उन्होंने, है ना? द वेरी फर्स्ट थिंग दैट टुक प्लेस इन इंडस्ट्रियल सेक्टर वाज एबॉलिशन ऑफ इंडस्ट्रियल लाइसेंसिंग. आप देख सकते हैं अपनी स्क्रीन के ऊपर द वेरी फर्स्ट पॉइंट, एबॉलिशन ऑफ इंडस्ट्रियल लाइसेंसिंग. You know, licensing has been now abolished for almost for all the most products except dangerous and harmful goods like alcohol, cigarettes, explosives, which means on these three major things we have still license these days, but without that, iske alawa we have abolished licensing on every product. So very first thing that took place in industrial sector reform, very first reform that took place in industrial sector was abolition of industrial licensing. Abolition of industrial licensing, which means licensing has been abolished to almost all the products now, except, please note this, ये 1 mark में आ सकता है एग्जाम में क्वेश्चन, except alcohol, which means alcohol pe still you need to go for the license, you need to have the license. Cigarettes pe, and also chemical explosives. So on these production of goods, cigarettes, alcohol and chemical explosives, still you need to get the license from the government, otherwise the industrial licensing on all other production have been abolished. So याद रहेगा सबको. In industrial sector reforms, liberalization in industrial sector reform. First, abolition of industrial licensing. Second, de-reservation of production areas. If you remember, हमने reserve कर दिया था production area for small scale. जब मैंने आपको बताया था in 1995 Carvey committee was made, है ना? In 1995 Carvey committee was there, inaugurated, and Carvey committee basically aimed at producing more and more goods and promoting the small scale industries in India. Carvey committee was mainly for promoting the small scale industries in India, but there was now de-reservation of production areas. De-reservation means the goods which were earlier removed, which were earlier reserved for the small scale sector, have now been opened for large scale units also. That means the competition was now removed. Like earlier, only the goods were, some goods were only reserved for the small scale sector, but now that have been opened for the large scale units also. Now large scale units also could either produce these goods which were previously reserved for only small sector. Third thing, freedom to import capital goods. Earlier there was restrictions to import the capital goods like machineries, tools, technologies. There was restriction to import all these things from other countries because इससे बहुत ज्यादा फॉरेन एक्सचेंज बाहर जाएगा, है ना, क्योंकि ये छोटा छोटा प्रोडक्ट तो होता नहीं है, मशीनरी है, प्लांट मशीनरीज हैं, टूल्स हैं, हैवी इक्विपमेंट्स हैं, टेक्नोलॉजीज हैं, इनको परचेज करने का मतलब है a lot of money you have to spend, right? So earlier there was some restrictions imposed on this, but now after the liberalization, all these capital goods were now free, that you can import from other countries, and there is no such restriction to import all these machines, tools, heavy equipments, plant and machineries, all the technologies, whatever you want to import. And last is withdrawal of price restriction. The practice of government fixing the prices of necessary goods was stopped. Market is given freedom to decide prices, which means the price mechanism was now being followed, and there was no situation that only government is going to fix up the price for all the necessary goods, but now the price mechanism was followed with the help of demand and supply for all the products, almost all the products. So that was industrial sector reforms under liberalization. Industrial sector reforms under liberalization. So liberalization में industrial sector में क्या क्या हुआ? Industrial licensing का abolish करवा दिया गया. Small scale industries के लिए जो products पहले reserves थे, अब उनको de-reserve कर दिया गया. Anybody could produce any type of product. Freedom was given to import the capital goods, but because there was earlier some restrictions imposed for the capital goods, but now there was complete freedom, and anybody could either import capital goods of their choice, machinery, tools, equipments, anyhow, from anywhere from the other countries. And the price restriction was withdrawal, or was basically abolished, which means now for the industrial goods, the price system was not being set up by the government, but the price mechanism, market mechanism, was now followed, which means on the basis of market demand and supply only, the prices of industrial goods were fixed. So please tell me, is it clear to everybody? Industrial sector reforms under liberalization. Liberalization में सबसे पहले industries के अंदर changes हुए, that is industrial sector reforms under liberalization. जितने बच्चे यहाँ present है, I think they should revert in the chat box if it is clear, so that I will definitely continue with the next topic. I think everybody should revert here. Okay, because if you have any doubt, you can ask me there and then. Fine. Okay, let's move to the next slide. Now, financial sector reforms under liberalization. Financial sector reforms under liberalization. So earlier there was which reforms? Industrial sector reforms, but now we have financial sector reforms under liberalization. See, in the financial sector, actually we are talking about the RBI, or we are talking about the banking system first. Like, was there any changes which were basically done in the banking sector or finance sector? First of all, I would like to tell you all, before 1991, there were only public sector banks in our economy. Commercial banks I'm talking about. There were only public sector commercial banks in our economy, which means all the commercial banks which were dealing with the public belonged to the government banks only. Okay? But after 1991, government allowed private sector banks also to enter in India. Government allowed private sector banks also to enter into India. Earlier there was restriction, but after 1991 they were allowed to enter in India. All right. So एक चीज आपने जरूर ध्यान देनी है, वो क्या? वो ये कि private sector banks, earlier private sector banks were not allowed to enter into India before 1991, but after new economic policy, that is 1991, the private sector banks were also allowed that they could also enter into India without any problem, बिना किसी problem के. ठीक? So let me tell you that UTI, do you know about UTI bank? Please tell me its full form in the chat box. UTI bank. बताओ जरा मुझे UTI bank कौन सा था? जल्दी से लिखो चैट बॉक्स में फटाफट, व्हाट इज यूटीआई बैंक, व्हाट इज द फुल फॉर्म ऑफ यूटीआई बैंक? यूनियन ट्रस्ट ऑफ इंडिया। मिताली, यूनियन टेरिटरी। यूनियन टेरिटरी क्या है? आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट यूटीआई बैंक, दैट इज यूनियन ट्रस्ट ऑफ इंडिया। UTI Bank was the first bank which entered into India in 1994. So that was the first bank which entered into India in 1994. All right. And ये जो UTI बैंक था, ये जो UTI बैंक था 1994 में, 10-15 मिनट वेट कर लो, तो नीचे वेट कर ले, ठीक है। So UTI बैंक जो था, यूनियन ट्रस्ट ऑफ इंडिया, दैट वाज द फर्स्ट बैंक व्हिच केम इन इंडिया, जो इंडिया में आया। कौन से ईयर में? 1994 में। एंड कैन एनीबडी टेल मी आज हम उसको कौन से नेम से जानते हैं? यूटीआई बैंक का नाम पीछे चेंज हुआ था 2000s में, अर्ली 2000s में। और व्हाट इज द अदर नेम ऑफ यूटीआई बैंक नाउ दीज डेज? कौन से नाम से जानते हैं? वेरी गुड अनमोल अरोड़ा, आदित्य वर्मा, एक्सिस बैंक। वेरी गुड। सो नाउ इट इज द एक्सिस बैंक। आज हम उसको एक्सिस बैंक से जानते हैं, एक्सिस बैंक के नाम से। ठीक है। तो फाइनेंशियल सेक्टर रिफॉर्म्स में वेरी फर्स्ट पॉइंट यू हैव टू सी इज, जो सबसे पहला पॉइंट आपने फाइनेंशियल सेक्टर रिफॉर्म्स में देखना है, वो यही देखना है कि फाइनेंशियल सेक्टर रिफॉर्म्स के अंदर द प्राइवेट बैंक्स वर नॉट अलाउड टू एंटर इन इंडिया, बट after 1991 there was now permission given to the private sector bank also, that they can also participate in the financial sector of India. They can also bring into their investment, they can also open up as a commercial bank in Indian economy after new economic policy. So very first point is clear. Second देखिए financial sector reform में क्या आया? RBI. We all know about RBI, that is Reserve Bank of India. You know, the earlier the role of RBI was basically a regulator. See, earlier the role of RBI was basically a regulator. Regulator means the RBI's role was given as a regulator, which means where RBI was regulating all the commercial banks. It was taking care of all the commercial banks. All the regulation was being done by the RBI. But after 1991, the role of RBI was changed from regulator to facilitator. From regulator to facilitator, which means earlier RBI was not given permission, or RBI was just having the role as a regulator of all the commercial banks. But after 1991 it was seen that now the RBI would be working as a RBI would be working as a facilitator also along with the regulator. So the role of RBI was also changed. Then permission was given to start private banks, as I told you all. Then foreign direct investment in the banking sector increased to 50%. You know पहले क्या होता था? गवर्नमेंट ने रिस्ट्रिक्शन इम्पोज की हुई थी दैट द FDI, फॉरेन डायरेक्ट इन्वेस्टमेंट पे बाहर से फॉरेनर्स इंडिया में इन्वेस्ट नहीं कर सकते मोर देन 50%। ऐसे में बड़ी प्रॉब्लम होती थी। क्यों? क्योंकि ऐसे में फॉरेनर्स को लगता था कि इफ वी आर नॉट गोइंग टू इन्वेस्ट इन इंडिया इवन फॉर 50% और मोर, देन डेफिनेटली उस केस के अंदर होगा क्या कि उस केस के अंदर जो गवर्नमेंट है, मतलब वही अपना मेजॉरिटी रोल प्ले करेगी। तो उस केस के अंदर जो बाहर से फॉरेनर्स होंगे, अगर वो 10-20% या 50% से लेस इन्वेस्टमेंट करते हैं, तो वो डिसीजंस नहीं ले पाएंगे। क्योंकि डिसीजन लेने के लिए, किसी भी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में डिसीजन लेने के लिए डेफिनेटली आपको जो है उस केस के अंदर अगर डिसीजन इफ यू वांट टू टेक, इन दैट केस यू शुड होल्ड more than 50% of the investment, but that was not there in this case that time. So to increase the FDI in the economy, to attract the FDI, that foreigners must invest in Indian economy, in the financial sector, in the banking sector, the government allowed the FDI through the foreigners even more than 50%. Okay. Now the banks were given freedom to set up new branches without the permission of RBI, because now RBI was not the regulator, right? So even without the permission of RBI, now banks were free to set up their new branches in different areas also. I hope this is clear to all. Financial sector reforms सबको clear है? Financial sector reforms. we have covered these two sector reforms, we have covered industrial sector reforms, and also we have covered financial sector reforms. If we talk about the industrial sector reforms, then I'll simply say changes which belongs to industry. And if I talk about the financial sector reforms, which means the changes which belongs to banking sector. Now let us, अनमोल का query है role of RBI बताओ सर एक बार regulator वाला. Okay, Anmol, the point was that earlier RBI was given a role of regulator. Regulator means RBI was regulating all the commercial banks. RBI was regulating all the commercial banks. Regulate करने का मतलब है जिसके अंदर RBI का ही decision चलता था with all the commercial banks in every aspect. But after new economic policy, because private banks को भी हमने allow कर दिया था, तो हम RBI को regulator नहीं बना सकते थे, क्योंकि RBI regulate करता तो private banks को लगता, private owners को लगता कि अगर RBI बार बार regulate करता रहेगा तो उनकी freedom कहीं ना कहीं खत्म हो जाएगी. इसलिए RBI का role change किया गया from regulator to facilitator. Facilitator means RBI will give guidance, RBI will give help, but RBI will not only control or not only will not just regulate it. Regulation के साथ साथ he will be the facilitator also and a guide also to all the commercial banks. Now next is tax reforms. Some changes. ये सब liberalization चल रहा है बेटे. This is all in liberalization. Liberalization of industrial sector reforms, liberalization of, then हमने पढ़ा financial और banking sector reforms. Now liberalization in tax reforms. In the tax reforms, I would like to tell you all that earlier, अच्छा, we all know that there are two types of taxes, है ना? Please name them. What are the two types of taxes? Budget में, macro में we have already studied. What are the two types of taxes we have? Very good, Naman, Akshat, Abhishek, Dishank, Toshit, Anirudh, Shubhangi, Priyanshi, Divya. The direct taxes and indirect taxes. Thira also. So direct taxes means we all know about direct taxes. Direct taxes are those taxes which we say that basically which is levied on one person and the burden also falls on the same person. Direct taxes are those taxes which is levied on one person and the burden also falls on the same person. That is the direct tax. जिसमें जो एक पर्सन पे लिवाय हो रहे हैं और बर्डन भी उसका सेम पर्सन पे फॉलो हो रहा है, दैट इज द डायरेक्ट टैक्स. जैसे कि वी हैव इनकम टैक्स. बट इफ आई टॉक अबाउट द इनडायरेक्ट टैक्सेस, indirect taxes are those taxes which are levied on one person but the burden falls on some other person, लेकिन उसका burden दूसरे persons पे follow होता है. So what are the direct and indirect taxes and what reforms took place in the tax reform, that I must tell you now. See, first of all, income tax rates have been reduced. This was done to discourage tax evasion. पता है क्या हो रहा था? Tax evasion होता था because उस time पे government to increase the taxes and to increase the income, actually to increase the government's income, what government was doing, government was taking or increasing the taxes. अब गवर्नमेंट टैक्सेस इसीलिए इंक्रीज कर रही थी, गवर्नमेंट का इंक्रीज करना टैक्सेस इसीलिए था ताकि गवर्नमेंट जो है अल्टीमेटली टैक्सेस इंक्रीज करेगी तो टैक्स इंक्रीज करने से गवर्नमेंट की इनकम इंक्रीज होगी. लेकिन उसका नेगेटिव इंपैक्ट गवर्नमेंट ने देखा. नेगेटिव इंपैक्ट क्या आया? काफी मैनी पीपल डिनाइड or many people started doing the tax evasion. The people started doing the tax evasion. Tax evasion का यहाँ मतलब है टैक्स की चोरी. टैक्स की चोरी मीन्स अपनी इनकम गलत बताना. फॉर एग्जाम्पल आपकी जो एक्चुअल इनकम है ईयर की, आप उस एक्चुअल इनकम को शो नहीं कर रहे हो, आप गलत इनकम शो कर रहे हो. आप कुछ ना कुछ विंडो ड्रेसिंग करके अपने अकाउंट्स के अंदर यू आर रिफ्लेक्टिंग द रॉन्ग इनकम इन फ्रंट ऑफ government to pay the taxes. That is called tax evasion. So that was being there. Government ने देखा कि many people are there who are doing the tax evasion. अब इतने सारे लोग जब tax evasion कर रहे हैं, टैक्स की चोरी जब इतने सारे लोग कर रहे हैं, तो अल्टीमेटली देयर वाज प्रॉब्लम. एक प्रॉब्लम उसके अंदर निकल के आ रही थी. ठीक है. So tax evasion जो है कहीं ना कहीं income tax rates have been reduced and this was done to discourage the tax evasion. Then corporate tax has also been reduced to encourage investment. Corporate tax भी आपको पता है, corporate tax means we are talking about the companies taxes जो उनको पे करना होता है, उसको भी कम कर दिया गया था. अच्छा, not only this but the tax structure has been made simple. टैक्स स्ट्रक्चर को भी बहुत सिंपल किया गया था. जैसे डायरेक्ट टैक्स, इनकम टैक्स के अंदर स्लैब्स बना दी गई कि सपोज 2,50,000 तक नोबडी हैज टू पे टैक्स. 2,50,000 के ऊपर जितनी इनकम होगी स्लैब्स के अकॉर्डिंगली डिवाइड करके वी हैव सेड कि अकॉर्डिंगली यू हैव टू पे द टैक्सेस. सो दैट वाज ऑल बीइंग डन. ये सब किया गया टैक्सेस के अंदर. That was all being done in taxes. And also we all know that in 2016 GST was introduced to replace a large number of indirect taxes. तो ये tax reforms में ही आएगा. Although ये 1991 में नहीं हुआ, but ये 1991 के reforms में ही count होगा. क्यों count होगा? Because 1991 के बाद जो reform आया GST के अंदर, वो 2016 में आया, तो वो उसी का ही part है. Of course वो 1991 में नहीं हुआ, but reforms का ही part है ये. ठीक है? So GST also was introduced to replace a large number of indirect taxes. So is it clear tax reforms कि tax reforms में भी changes आए, liberalize किया गया taxes को भी, reforms को भी, income tax कम किया गया so that tax evasion कम हो, corporate tax कम किया गया so that investment बढ़े, companies काफी सारी open हो, GST लाए गए so that large number of जो indirect taxes हैं उनको replace करके one tax should be there, right? One country, one tax should be there, and tax structure has been made simple. और tax structure को भी एकदम simple कर दिया गया था. Is it clear to all? Please tell me if it is clear. Tax reforms. Okay. Let's move further. Foreign exchange reforms. Liberalization के अंदर ही है. फॉरेन एक्सचेंज रिफॉर्म्स. अच्छा, यहाँ पे आपको डॉलर्स दिख रहे हैं ना, यानी कि ये फॉरेन एक्सचेंज मतलब फॉरेन करेंसी से रिलेटेड है. कुछ ना कुछ यानी कि चेंजेस किए गए हैं फॉरेन करेंसी के अंदर. क्या चेंज किया गया होगा? कैन यू टेल मी व्हाट चेंज वुड हैव बीन डन इन फॉरेन एक्सचेंज और इन फॉरेन करेंसी? क्या चेंज हो सकता है इसके अंदर जो हुआ होगा? देखते हैं, चलो. रुपी हैड बीन डिवैल्यूड. Rupee had been devalued. It was done to encourage exports and discourage imports. बड़ा ही बहुत अच्छी चीज की थी. इंडियन हिस्ट्री में फर्स्ट टाइम, ध्यान से सुनना, 1 मार्क में आ सकता क्वेश्चन. इंडियन हिस्ट्री में फर्स्ट टाइम गवर्नमेंट ने खुद से अपनी ही रुपीस की वैल्यू कम कर दी थी इन कंपैरिजन विद द फॉरेन करेंसी डॉलर. अपने खुद से कम करी. कैन यू टेल मी क्यों कम की होगी खुद से? ताकि हमारा जो रुपी है वो ऑफ कोर्स सस्ता हो जाए और फॉरेनर्स को सस्ता लगे, एंड दे विल डेफिनेटली बाय मोर गुड्स फ्रॉम इंडिया. बिकॉज जब वो हमसे ज्यादा गुड्स लेंगे डेफिनेटली देयर विल बी इनफ्लो ऑफ फॉरेन एक्सचेंज, जो हम चाहते थे कि हमारे पास ज्यादा से ज्यादा फॉरेन एक्सचेंज आए. क्योंकि हो क्या रहा था, हमारे पास फॉरेन एक्सचेंज था ही नहीं. मैंने आपको बताया था ना रीजन में, 15 दिन का ही बचा था फॉरेन एक्सचेंज फर्दर इंपोर्ट्स करने के लिए. तो हमारी पहली कोशिश क्या थी? फॉरेन एक्सचेंज बढ़ाओ ताकि हमारे पास बाहर से पैसा आए. अब बाहर से पैसा आने के लिए गवर्नमेंट ने क्या पैतरा अपनाया? गवर्नमेंट ने वैल्यू, रुपी की वैल्यू क्या कर दी? डीवैल्यूड, खुद से कम कर दी. जब गवर्नमेंट खुद से कम करे वैल्यू को तो उसको डीवैल्यूएशन बोलते हैं. सो गवर्नमेंट डीवैल्यूड द इंडियन रुपी एंड द रीजन वाज टू एनकरेज एक्सपोर्ट्स so that more inflow of foreign exchange will be there, because foreigners will see that now purchasing goods from India would be cheaper because उनका हमारा वैल्यू सस्ता हो गया उनके डॉलर के मुकाबले. So that was being done in the foreign exchange to attract the foreign currency. Clear? And second was done, India changed from fixed exchange rate system to flexible exchange rate system. Market forces are allowed to determine the exchange rate. गवर्नमेंट ने बहुत बढ़िया काम किया. गवर्नमेंट ने सबसे पहले तो खुद से कम कर दिया वैल्यू रुपी का. जैसे खुद से कम कर दिया, खुद से कम करने के बाद गवर्नमेंट ने फिक्स एक्सचेंज रेट सिस्टम, मतलब जब गवर्नमेंट जो है खुद से चेंज करती रहती थी उसको हटा करके फ्लेक्सिबल एक्सचेंज रेट सिस्टम फॉलो कर दिया. यानी कि अब क्या कर दिया? अब कर दिया फ्लेक्सिबल एक्सचेंज रेट सिस्टम. यानी कि ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ मार्केट डिमांड एंड सप्लाई, ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ मार्केट डिमांड एंड सप्लाई फॉर फॉरेन करेंसी, अब उनकी वैल्यू गवर्नमेंट नहीं सेट करेगी कि $1 बदले में कितना रुपये होना चाहिए, ये अब गवर्नमेंट नहीं सेट करेगी। गवर्नमेंट क्या करेगी, गवर्नमेंट ने क्या कर दिया, मार्केट डिमांड और सप्लाई पे छोड़ दिया। कितनी डिमांड है कितनी सप्लाई, उसके बेसिस पे अपने आप सेट होगा मार्केट के बेसिस पे। इसकी डिटेलिंग हम लोग मैक्रो के लास्ट चैप्टर में पढ़ेंगे, बीओपी एंड फॉरेन एक्सचेंज के अंदर, वो इसी की डिटेलिंग है। You will be definitely knowing in detail the whole concept of foreign and this fixed and flexible exchange rate. So is it clear to all? 4 पॉइंट्स यहां तक क्लियर है लिबरलाइजेशन के? अब मुझे बताओ, बिकॉज 4 पॉइंट मेन मैंने करवा दिए। फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, सो लेट मी नो प्लीज इफ इट इज क्लियर ऑल द पॉइंट्स। लिबरलाइजेशन मींस गवर्नमेंट की रेगुलेशंस हटा देना। आपने देखा इन सारी चीजों में हमने रेगुलेशंस को हटाया ही है। वी हैव रिमूव्ड ऑल द बैरियर्स, वी हैव रिमूव्ड ऑल द रेगुलेशंस व्हिच वर imposed by the government इन इंडस्ट्रीज। जो हमने पढ़ा इसके अंदर इंडस्ट्रियल सेक्टर रिफॉर्म्स, है ना। इसके बाद ये, फिर उसके बाद financial sector reforms means in banking sector also removal of various regulations, then tax reforms also. In the tax reforms also, in the taxes also, government has done a lot of these things, changes in the tax rates and all. And then we have covered foreign exchange reforms. In the foreign currency also, government went for doing many changes so that to attract the foreign currency from other countries. I hope that is clear. प्लीज इसको जरूर पढ़ना स्टार्ट करो, साथ साथ लर्न करते रहो, ठीक है। तौशित, अपनी करेंसी की वैल्यू हम खुद पहले डिसाइड कर सकते थे 1991 से पहले, वो भी गोल्ड के बेसिस पे। कितना गोल्ड होता था उसके बेसिस पे, जिसको हम लोग फिक्स एक्सचेंज रेट सिस्टम बोलते थे। लेकिन 1991 के बाद हमने फिक्स एक्सचेंज रेट सिस्टम को बंद करके we started with flexible exchange rate system. Now the government itself cannot set the price of currency. अभी मार्केट के बेसिस पे, डिमांड एंड सप्लाई के बेसिस पे सब कुछ हो चुका है, ठीक है। और पहले भी अगर हम कर सकते थे तो हमने कम ही किया था हमेशा, क्योंकि हमारे पास हमें बाहर की करेंसी चाहिए थी और हम चाहते थे बाहर से करेंसी मिले, इसलिए हमने खुद से डिवैल्यू कर दिया रुपये को, ताकि बाहर के लोग काफी सारा सामान हम लोगों से खरीदना स्टार्ट कर दें। हाँ जी, नाउ टेल मी प्लीज इफ इट इज क्लियर टू ऑल। सबको क्लियर है? प्लीज इसको अच्छे से रीड करना, टॉपिक को कंप्लीटली लर्न करो, रीड करो, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक है ये। आपके बीएसटी में भी है ना, एलपीजी चैप्टर 3 बिजनेस एनवायरनमेंट में भी है थोड़ा सा टॉपिक इसका, तो प्लीज इसको अच्छे से पढ़ना है, एकदम कंप्लीट। क्लियर है अब सबको? कल स्टार्ट कराऊंगा आगे फर्दर, इसको कंप्लीट करके टुमारो वी विल स्टार्ट द प्राइवेटाइजेशन एंड एज वेल एज द ग्लोबलाइजेशन। फाइन, ओके, सो लेट्स मीट यू ऑल टुमारो। कल मिलते हैं आप लोगों से।